Hey, what's up? Welcome to the Gray Area. It's your man, Kevin Gray, Mavs pre- and post-game host on 97.1 The Freak. Appreciate you joining me here for a quick mini episode of the Gray Area. I'm bringing the podcast back and wanted to give you a little taste and a little flavor of what I'll be bringing to the Gray Area podcast. I've started and restarted the podcast a few times, but now, as you know, I got a little more time on my hands these days. So I'll be bringing the podcast back hopefully 2 to 3 times a week moving forward here. And part of my mini-sode here that I wanted to give you a little flavor of is what I'll be talking about. I get the chance to talk about anything I want, whether it be the Cowboys, the Mavericks, the NBA, Shohei Ohtani getting $700 million. I could talk about anything I want on this podcast, whether it be lifestyle, entertainment, whatever the case may be. So hopefully you'll have a chance to get entertained by the podcast and enjoy it. Like I said, it's something that I've done a few times before, but never had the chance to really commit to it. And now I have the chance to be able to do so. So I would appreciate if you subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your podcast for free, whether it be on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you choose to get your said podcast for free. You'll also be able to see it on my YouTube channel at Kevin Gray Sports, so you can subscribe to my channel there as well for all of my content, whether it be inside the Mavs or whatever the case may be. On this quick mini-sode here, Michael Gallup of the Dallas Cowboys joins me on the show as the Cowboys get ready to take on the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday Night Football. NFC East supremacy is on the line in this game as the Cowboys come in at 9-3, the Philadelphia Eagles at 10-2. Of course, the Eagles getting a 28-23 win at Lincoln Financial Field a little bit earlier this season. These two have been on a collision course to get to this game where the Cowboys have a tremendous opportunity to be able to handle business and, for the moment, after Sunday night potentially, to have first place in the NFC East. The Cowboys, who are being led by Dak Prescott, who's playing at an MVP-like level, playing terrific, especially on third down. This is one of those games where you look to have an MVP performance to put yourself at the top of that category definitively. If you're the Philadelphia Eagles, you're trying to get a clean sweep of the Dallas Cowboys and take another step closer to winning the NFC East. But this is about the Cowboys and their ability, after getting a nice win against the Seattle Seahawks on Thursday Night Football in a game where there was some adversity to be dealt with. The quarterback showed up big time. Can this team, who lost to the Philadelphia Eagles, who has lost to the San Francisco 49ers after the 49ers we just saw put a beat down on this Philadelphia Eagle team coming into AT&T on Sunday night, can this Cowboys team be considered seriously at the top of the NFC? It will have to start, that is, with a win against Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. The Cowboys defense, led, of course, by Micah Parsons, all-world defensive end. They will need to show up, especially in the run game, where we know the tush push will be on the menu for the Philadelphia Eagle offense. Anytime they get to a 4th-and-1 situation, you know they're going to go for it. So the Cowboys' ability to keep them out of 4th-and-short situations is going to be huge. But for me, this is all about the Dallas Cowboys. Can they find a way for people outside of you and me to be able to take them seriously, not only in the hierarchy of the NFC, but also in the hierarchy of the National Football League? Because if they can get this win Sunday night, yeah, we need to take them seriously as they get ready to take on Buffalo and Miami. And then they have a date with Detroit at the end of December where Jimmy Johnson takes his rightful place in the Ring of Honor for the Dallas Cowboys. So, with that being said, all the hype around this game on Sunday Night Football, all the conversation that has gone into this game leads to this moment for America's team. And for America's team, they will be on full display with the entire NFL world watching and descending upon AT&T Stadium. Dallas Goedert makes his return for the Philadelphia Eagles after suffering a broken forearm. He will be a much-needed weapon for Jalen Hurts and that offense among a plethora of weapons that they already have with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and a terrific offensive line. Dak Prescott has his own collection of weapons when it comes to CeeDee Lamb, who's been one of the best wide receivers in all in the National Football League. Tony Pollard, a good offensive line. Others like Brandon Cooks as well, who have made their presence felt. For a guy in Michael Gallup, it's been a little bit of a different year for him. As the third wide receiver on this team, he is known for acrobatic catches and the ability to make contested catches for this football team. But he's taken on a little bit different role this year, not just as a pass catcher, but as a blocker and a guy that's had to be asked to do a lot of different things for this football team. But his mentality and his mindset going into this game reflects that of his team, which is we are going to do whatever it takes to win this football game because you and I know the Cowboys need it. And if Dak Prescott is to remain in this MVP discussion as we have put them there, then this game is going to mean all the world to Dak Prescott, Michael Gallup, and this football team because we know what the conversation will be. I will be talking about this team with more Super Bowl aspirations than I have maybe in quite some time, even with the beatdown that they suffered at the hands of the San Francisco 49ers. That's the amount of importance that this game is taking on, because if you can beat teams like Philadelphia for a second time, at least trying to beat them this time around, the Buffalo Bills, the Miami Dolphins, the Detroit Lions, some of these teams that we consider good in the NFL, then we have a better opportunity. I have a better opportunity to maybe talk about this team in a little bit different terms. But if they don't win on Sunday Night Football, the conversation shifts to a team that's good against teams that are really bad, but they can't beat the upper echelon of the National Football League, which lessens my idea that they are a true Super Bowl contender. But all of that is to be left to be decided on Sunday Night Football. And if Michael Gallup has anything to say about it, he is going to be ready to play this football game and to help his team do whatever it takes to win. Here's my conversation with the Cowboys wide receiver ahead of Sunday night's football game against the Philadelphia Eagles.
With Cowboys wide receiver Michael Gallup. And Mike, I want to ask you, obviously we're into December football now. What's the intensity level like of December football, especially knowing that you get to start it against the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday?
Oh, yeah, it's definitely, it's playoff time now. Every game from here on out, you got to play it like it's a playoff game, like you're done playing. Obviously, it's not that. We still got a couple more games, but that's how everybody's mentality is here. This is a playoff game. It's for real now.
And when you look at where this team is going into December football now, how would you assess where this group is, knowing what's ahead of it going forward for the rest of the year?
Oh, yeah, this team, we're on high alert for everything right now. Everybody's doing what they're supposed to do at 110%. So we know when we go into the game, it's an easier game for us. Practice-wise, going to meetings, just putting a little bit extra time into everything we do because this is crunch time.
For those who don't know about this time of the year when it comes to December football, what's the most fun about this time of year, especially as a Dallas Cowboy?
The most fun, I would definitely say, it just amps up all around, especially in Dallas. You see somebody outside anywhere, they know that you play for the Cowboys. It's like they're going to let you know about what they think. I think that's probably the funnest thing. Everybody just, they all think they're all part of the team, and that's what we need. But, it's definitely a fun time.
You've been a part of this Eagles-Cowboys rivalry for a long time now. How would you describe what this rivalry means, not just to you, but obviously for those who watch these teams play each other twice a year every year?
Oh, yeah, it's gritty. It is gritty for sure. The first time I played over there against the Eagles, they were throwing eggs at the bus. I'm not going to lie to you. I was like, I thought, that was only in movies. But, nah, they be furious with us, and, us the same. So that rivalry, it goes all the way back. So just to be a part of it, get to live it, get to see it, it's a blessing, but it's also a fun time.
And for you personally, the challenge that you've been able to take on, not only as a receiver, but as a blocker as well, how would you describe the evolution of your game, particularly this year, knowing what the team is asking of you in a variety of ways?
Oh, yeah, definitely. everybody's role changes. You gotta be on point with what you do and how you do it. For me, if I need to go in there and get a block, if I need to draw a safety over so CD or anybody else can score, I'm gonna do that. I'm trying to win. I went to Colorado State. Not a big bash on them, but it's like I didn't win like that. So here, whatever I need to do, I'm gonna do it.
How would you describe the play of your quarterback right now at this point in the season?
Man, Dak's on fire. Everybody knows he needs to win that MVP, and he's going to do it. He's going to keep capitalizing, keep working, doing as he's supposed to do. We're going to follow his lead. Always have, always will.
One more for you when it comes to your relationship with him specifically. What's one thing you could tell me about Dak that maybe most people don't know about him as a player or as a person that you most enjoy about him as a teammate?
I think anybody in this locker room, no matter if you're a rookie or if you're, a high caliber player, whatever, anybody can walk up to Dak and have a conversation with him, and he'll be able to mesh with you, just like he does his own family. I think that's one quality that he's always had, and I appreciate it because I feel like I'm the same way. But for him to be the quarterback and, not be stingy, not be rude to folks, just come out here and do what you're supposed to do, but also have love in what you're doing, I think that's big.
Last couple before I let you go here. How much fun are you having as a player at this stage of your career, knowing what's in front of you and what this team has in front of it?
Oh, it's definitely fun for me. It's fun for me. You look up at the scoreboard, it says 40, and the other team's got about 20, maybe. That's fun. You sitting on the sideline, you're over here, not necessarily cracking jokes, but, everybody's got smiles on their face because you went out there, did your job, now you're just chilling. But, it's fun. Believe me, I have a smile on my face every day when I walk into work.
Last one for you. Where is this Cowboys team in relation to the rest of the NFC, whether it's the Eagles, the 49ers? Where does Michael Gallup see the Cowboys right now?
Man, I see it's at that number one. They got over on us, a couple weeks ago, but we're gonna take that back over. That's what I believe, and that's what this team believes.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So appreciate Michael Gallup for joining me on this episode of the Gray Area Podcast. Again, just a quick mini-sode here, just to give you a little flavor of what I do on this podcast. You'll see it and hear it on my YouTube channel at Kevin Gray Sports. And again, you can download the podcast wherever you get your podcast for free, whether it be Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you choose to download it. Just give it a 5-star rating, write a review of the podcast while you're there. Tell your friends and family that your boy is back doing the podcast. Like I said, 2 to 3 times a week. You'll hear from various guests and friends of mine who I've made throughout the years in this wild industry that is the content, podcast, radio, whatever it is. I've been in it for a while now and now have an opportunity to be able to do this. Guess what? Full time now. So I'm really excited about the chance to be able to do this a lot more often, to be able to entertain you, because I have a really good time doing this show. I've had a really good time in the past doing the show, and now I get to do it a lot more. You can also catch me, of course, every Mavericks game day, pre and post on 97.1 The Freak, being able to bring you the presentation of the Dallas Mavericks as they continue throughout this season. But again, appreciate Michael Gallup, Dallas Cowboys wide receiver, for joining me on this episode of the Gray Area Podcast. My name is Kevin Gray. I'll talk to you real soon here on the Gray Area Podcast. Again, wherever you get your podcast for free, hit that download button, subscribe to it. Tell somebody you know that, hey, KG's doing the podcast again, and you might enjoy it. Until then, I'll talk to you later. Peace.